Welcome to the English Matura with JB podcast. Today, we're diving into the global phenomenon of football, or soccer, as it's known in the States. To kick things off, here's a staggering fact. The FIFA World Cup, the most watched sporting event on the planet, almost never saw the light of day. It actually took 26 years of persuasion just to convince 13 teams to participate in the very first tournament.
That's unbelievable. I mean, today it's this massive global event that stops the world every 4 years. It's hard to imagine it almost didn't get off the ground.
Exactly. And that's what we're diving into today. We're going to explore how the World Cup grew from a fragile idea to a global phenomenon, what's ahead for the 2026 tournament, and even how football has shaped everyday language. By the end of this, you'll be ready to join any conversation about the beautiful game.
And I love that we're not just talking about the sport itself, but also the culture and language around it. It's such a rich topic.
It really is. So let's start at the beginning. FIFA, which stands for Fédération Internationale de Football Association, was founded in Paris on May 21st, 1904. Their goal was to create a unified international football competition. But here's the thing. The first actual World Cup tournament didn't happen until 1930.
That's 26 years. Why did it take so long?
Well, it came down to logistics and priorities. Back in the early 1900s, football was already part of the Olympics, so many people didn't see the need for a separate tournament. Plus, international travel was a nightmare. There were no commercial flights, so teams had to travel by boat, a trip that could take weeks.
Oh, that's right. I remember reading that for the first World Cup in Uruguay, European teams like France, Belgium, and Romania all traveled together on a single ship called the Conte Verde. They even trained on the deck during the journey.
Exactly. And because of those challenges, only 13 teams participated in that first tournament. But despite its small scale, it was a huge success. Uruguay won the final against Argentina, and it proved that a standalone football tournament could capture the public's imagination.
But then, just as the tournament was gaining momentum, World War II happened. The World Cup skipped 1942 and 1946. You'd think losing 2 cycles would kill its momentum.
You'd think so, but the opposite happened. After the war, the world was desperate for unity and normalcy. When the World Cup returned in 1950, hosted by Brazil, it wasn't just a sporting event anymore. It became a symbol of global recovery. The crowds were massive, and the sport's popularity exploded.
That's so fascinating. It went from being a novelty to being a necessary global reunion, and that unity brought out the fans, the 12th man.
Oh, I love that term. On the pitch, a football team has 11 players, but the 12th man refers to the fans. Their energy is so powerful, it feels like an extra player is helping the team.
It's such a beautiful concept. And over the decades, that emotional weight has been carried by some true giants of the game. For instance, Brazil holds the record with 5 World Cup victories, and their style of play is just iconic.
And then there are individual legends like Germany's Miroslav Klose. He holds the record for the most goals scored in World Cup history, 16 goals across 4 tournaments.
What's fascinating about Klose is that he wasn't flashy. He was all about consistency and positioning. He understood the geometry of the penalty area perfectly and maintained elite fitness for 12 years. Discipline over flair.
I love that phrase, discipline over flair. So, we've gone from 13 teams traveling by ship to Uruguay to this massive post-war explosion of global interest. Now, let's talk about the present, 2026.
The 2026 World Cup is historic. For the first time ever, 3 countries co-host: the United States, Canada, and Mexico.
And the tournament has expanded from 32 to 48 teams. That's 104 matches, up from 64. The teams are divided into 12 groups of 4, with a new single-elimination knockout phase starting at the round of 32.
The scale is staggering. Hosting 104 matches requires an infrastructure that no single country can handle alone, which is why 3 countries are sharing the load.
But here's the big debate. Does expanding to 48 teams dilute the competition? Some purists argue that it lowers the barrier to entry, leading to less competitive matches. Others say it's about inclusion, giving new nations a chance to shine on the global stage.
It's definitely about inclusion. Expanding the field builds the sport's fan base and infrastructure in new markets. Plus, the earlier knockout phase introduces sudden death drama much sooner. Fans love high stakes.
And the timeline is already set. The action kicked off on June 11, 2026, at the iconic Estadio Azteca in Mexico City. The final will be on July 19, 2026, at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey.
It's going to be fascinating from a human perspective, too. We're witnessing a generational shift. Legends like Messi and Ronaldo are likely playing their final World Cup, making way for young stars like Mbappe and Bellingham.
The torch is being passed. The storyline never ends. It just gets handed to a new cast of characters.
And if our listeners want to join this global conversation, knowing the players is just the start. You have to speak the language.
Absolutely. Sports language influences everyday English so much. Let's teach our B1 learners 5 essential football terms. First up, pitch. That's the field where the game is played.
Right. And in global football, it's pitch, not soccer field. Next is a match, which refers to the 90-minute game itself. Then we have a referee, the official who enforces the rules.
Fourth is the goalkeeper, the only player allowed to use their hands during open play. And finally, lineup, the specific group of 11 players starting the match.
Now let's look at 5 football idioms used in everyday English. First, kickoff. It means to start something.
Then there's scoring an own goal, which means to accidentally harm your own interests. Third, keep your eye on the ball. Stay focused on your goal.
Fourth is being on the ball, meaning alert and efficient. And finally, that's football, a way of accepting life's unpredictability.
These idioms are so useful. Practice them in your next conversation to sound more natural and expressive.
So today, we've traveled from the fragile beginnings of the World Cup to its massive present in 2026. We've explored history, logistics, and language.
And we leave you with this question. Will the expanded World Cup bring the world closer together? Or will its sheer size make it harder to feel that shared heartbeat of the beautiful game?
Yes, indeed. That's something to think about. Keep practicing your English, stay focused, and until next time, keep your eye on the ball.
Well, on that note, let me say goodbye to you all. Take care and have a wonderful rest of your day.